You've heard of the law of attraction, right? Of course you have. It's this massive billion-dollar industry behind everything from blockbuster books, like The Secret, to celebrity talk shows and an army of life coaches. But what is it really?
So, what's the real story here? Is this some profound secret to the universe that can help you achieve your wildest dreams? Or is it just a really, really well-marketed scam? That's what we're going to figure out today.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll dive into the popular myth, what everybody thinks it is. Then, we'll look at the very real danger when it's taken too far. After that, we'll get into the actual science behind it, put it all into a new formula, and wrap up with a simple 3-step plan you can actually use. Let's do it!
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the version of the law of attraction that everyone knows, the one that's all over pop culture. The idea is so simple, right? It's almost magnetic. Whatever you focus on, you attract. You want to be rich? Just think about money. Want to be healthy? Just picture yourself in perfect health. All you have to do is say your affirmations, and poof, the universe delivers. But where did this whole thing even come from?
You know, what's wild is that this isn't some new age idea. Not at all. Its roots go way, way back to ancient philosophies, stuff in Buddhism, Hinduism, all about the mind's power to shape your world. Then, in the 19th century, it got a new name, the law of attraction. Fast forward to 1937, and Napoleon Hill's book Think and Grow Rich just blew up. But the real game changer, 2006, that's when The Secret came out and turned this whole thing into the absolute global machine it is today.
But with that kind of massive popularity, well, there's a dark side. When people take this idea to the absolute extreme, it can be really, really dangerous. And I want to show you a tragic, real-world example of what I mean.
So back in the mid-2000s, there was this woman, Kim Tinkham, and she was so inspired by The Secret that she actually wrote to the Oprah Winfrey Show. She told them she had breast cancer, but she was going to reject all medical treatment. She was convinced she could just manifest her own cure using nothing but her thoughts.
Sadly, in 2010, Kim died from her cancer. And her story is just this heartbreaking lesson, isn't it? It shows the fatal flaw in this pop culture version of the law. Just believing in something with no action, with no grounding in reality, it can have truly devastating consequences. Okay, so that's the danger of magical thinking. We have to move past that. Let's completely shift gears now and look at the actual, real science that makes some of this stuff, well, work. And it starts with a story about breaking a limit that everyone thought was completely unbreakable. All right, picture this. Before 1954, it was a medical and scientific fact that no human could run a mile in under 4 minutes. It wasn't just hard, it was considered physically impossible. The human body just couldn't do it. End of story. Until a guy named Roger Bannister did it. 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. He shattered the impossible. But here's where it gets really mind-bending. Just 6 weeks later, somebody else did it. And since then, over 1,600 people have done it. So what changed? It wasn't human evolution in a few weeks, it was belief. And that brings us to the real science at the heart of this, something called neuroplasticity. It's this incredible ability our brains have to literally reorganize themselves, to form new connections based on what we focus on. Bannister, who actually went on to become a neuroscientist, said he won that race in his mind 1,000 times before he ever even stepped on the track. He was literally rewiring his brain for success. And this isn't just a cool story. There's amazing research to back it up. Check this out. A study at the University of Chicago took basketball players and split them into 3 groups. Group 1 practiced free throws physically. They improved by 24%. No surprise there. Group 3 did nothing and improved by, well, 0. But get this, Group 2 didn't touch a basketball. They only visualized themselves making perfect shots. Their improvement? 23%, almost identical to the people who actually practiced. It proves our brains kinda can't tell the difference between something we vividly imagine and something we actually do.
Okay, so what does all this mean? It means the real secret isn't about attracting stuff from some cosmic warehouse. No, it's about using your focus, your thoughts, to prime your own brain for action.
This changes everything, right? You're not just sitting around passively wishing for a different life. You're actively using your mind to build yourself, to become the person who is capable of creating that life. It's not about magic. It's about building your own capability. So here it is, the real formula. It's the law of attraction, when you understand it as focused visualization plus the law of action. That's what gets you real results. One without the other is just incomplete. It's a car without an engine, or an engine without a car.
All right, this is the part we've all been waiting for. How do you actually put this to work in your own life? Let's break it down into a simple 3-step plan. This is based on science, not superstition.
So it's just 3 steps. First, you have to set a believable goal. It can be huge, ambitious, but it has to be possible. We're not trying to grow wings here. Second, you have to feed your brain with that goal relentlessly. And third, and this is the big one, you have to take supportive action.
For step 2, feeding your brain, just look at the legendary Bruce Lee. He wrote this letter to himself. It wasn't vague, it was specific. I will be the first highest-paid Oriental superstar in the United States. He laid out exactly what he'd give in return. He carried that with him, programming his mind with that vision day in and day out.
And how about Jim Carrey? He did something very similar. When he was a struggling actor, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He post-dated it for the future and kept it in his wallet for years. Can you imagine? Every single day, he was feeding his brain that specific, believable goal. He was literally building the neural pathways for success.
And that brings us to the final step. And honestly, this is the one that matters most. You have to take action. All the visualization in the world is just daydreaming if you don't do anything. You can't manifest a six-pack from your couch, you know? The real magic isn't some hidden secret. It's literally hidden inside the word attraction itself. Action.
So when you look at it this way, maybe the whole law of attraction has just been completely misunderstood. The real power isn't about pulling things out of the universe. It's a tool for transforming yourself, for rewiring your own brain to become the kind of person who is truly capable of achieving those things. So the real question isn't what you're going to attract. It's who will you become?